Hello, my name is Bob, and I'm a tutor at Raritan Valley Community College's Academic Support Center. This is Session 4 on GeoGebra, and this is Module 4 on drawing lines. In this module, we're going to draw a line with a line icon. Then we're going to connect 2 points using the line icon. We'll connect 2 points using the line command. We'll enter the equation of a line on the input line, and we'll do it in both general form, slope-intercept form, and in function form. We're going to graph a horizontal line and a vertical line. We're going to find where 2 lines intersect using the intersect command. We'll find the slope of a line using the slope func command. We're going to find the x and y intercepts of the line using the intersect command. We're going to find a line parallel to another line through a given point using the parallel line command. And we're going to find a line perpendicular to another line at a given point using the perpendicular command. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is turn on GeoGebra. We go over to our GeoGebra icon and double click, and it's going to launch. Remember, we're using our web start, so it will go out to the web, and we've got our GeoGebra window. Now the first thing we want to do is just draw a line with a line icon. So if we go up here to this third icon over and click on it, you can see that the icon says line through 2 points. And if we just click anywhere on the graph, it creates 1 point, and then we can move around and create a second point. And that's one way to use the line icon. Now let's get rid of that line, and the way we can do that is we'll go over here to the line, we'll do a right click on it, and we're going to go down and delete the line, and then we're going to delete both of those points we created with a right click and a delete, and a right click and a delete. So now let's put 2 points out there first, and then we'll go create the line through those 2 points. Before I put the points out there, I think what I'm going to do is turn the grid on. So I'm going to do a right click in the drawing pad area, and you can see our little drawing pad property panel comes up. I'm going to click on grid, and you can see our grid turns on. And let's say the first point was a point 3, 0. So we'll go up to our point tool, and we'll hit 3, 0. And let's say our other point was 1, 5. We'll go up here to 1, 5 and click on that. Now if we want to connect those 2 points, we go back up to our line tool icon, click on that, and we have our line through 2 points. I'll go down to point B, click on that, go down to point A, click on that, and now we have our line through those 2 points. There's another way we could have done the same thing. Let's get rid of that line again. I'm going to do a right click on the equation for the line. I'm going to go down and delete that line. And we could have used the commands, and we could either go to the command box and draw all the way down until we get the line command. And the line command comes up line with a square brackets, and commands use square brackets, they don't use parentheses. And then we put in the points. And the first point is capital A, and the second point is capital B. We separate those with a comma. We hit enter, and you can see it created the line AB, and there's right through those 2 points. So those are 2 ways that we connect those 2 points to give a line. Now the other way we can have a line is we could be given the equation of a line. Suppose we were given the equation in its general form. Now the general form of the equation for a line is AX plus BY equals C. Let's get rid of this line. We're going to go out and delete it. I right clicked on it and deleted it. We'll get rid of these 2 points. Delete. Click on A and delete. And now let's suppose we were given the line 6x plus 3y equals 12. When we put that in, it's in the general form, and you can see there's the line. It pops right up. So we can put in a line in the general form, which is known as an implicit way of defining a line, and it pops right up on the equation. So if we're given the equation, put it in the input area, hit enter, and the line pops up. We can get rid of that line. We'll do a right click on it, go down and hit delete. The other way we can put in a line is we can do it in the slope intercept form. So if we're given y equals, let's have 5x plus 7, and there we have a slope of a line, And now we can't quite see that 7 up there, so we're going to use the scroll key on the mouse and we'll zoom in a little bit. And there you can see it's going through point 7, which is between 6 and 8. And that's the way we can see where our line is. So there's our slope line with a slope of 5, an intercept of 7, and we put it in slope-intercept form. We could also put a line in function form. Let me get rid of that line once again, go down and delete it. And this time we're going to put in f parentheses x parentheses equals, and that's f of x equals, and let's do 3x plus 2. And so again, we can put this in slope-intercept form. Now we could go back to our standard window just by clicking in the property area and going down to standard window, and that will get us back to where we were originally. And you can see that it goes through the point 2, and it's got a slope of 3. Now suppose we wanted a horizontal line. Well, I can leave that line on there. And remember, a horizontal line is of the form y equals. So we could create the line y equals 4. And you can see there's our horizontal line going right through that point 4. Now suppose we wanted that line a little bit bigger so we could see it better. Let's do a right click on that line. We'll go down to properties. We'll click on style, and we can make it a thickness of 5 as opposed to a thickness of 1. And you can see in the background here it's already gotten very thick. And we can change its color to red if we want. And we can close that, and there's that line y equals 4. We could also create a vertical line. And vertical lines are, remember, of the form x equals, so we could just put in x equals, let's do 6, enter. And there's our vertical line called B. And again, we can go into our properties with a right click. Let's make this one blue, and let's make this one also about 3. And so we have a blue line that's vertical about 3. So there we've created a horizontal line and a vertical line. Now let's try and find out where those lines intersect. And we can use the intersect command to do that. So let's try that. We're going to go down to, and this time instead of looking in the command line, we're just going to type intersect, I-N-T-E-R, and you can see that the intersect command has popped up. We want to be right in between those square brackets. Not quite there, we're in the middle there. And let's find the intersection of this line F. So we'll put F and this line A, comma A. And then we hit enter. And there you can see the intersection between line F and line A is point A, and it's at the point 0.067 and 4. Now if we don't like where that label is, we can drag it out of the way a little bit. I just dragged and dropped it. And if we wanted to, we could click on that point with a right click. We'll go down to properties. We're going to go to basic. And where it says show label, we can show name and value. Close it, and you can see there it is. Point A is the intersection of those 2 points. We could also find intersection another way. We can find intersection using the intersect tool. So we're going to go up here to the point tool. You see the little red drop down arrow? We're going to click on that. And there's an icon that says intersect 2 objects. We'll click on that to bring it into the window, and now we'll click on it again. We have the intersect 2 objects open, and so we'll click on the first object, which is our line B, and we'll click on our second object, which is our line A, and there you can see the intersection of those 2 lines is at that point B. Let's do a right click on that, go down to properties. We're going to show name and value again, and you can see that the point B is the point 6, 4. So those are 2 ways that we can show where 2 lines intersect. Okay, now suppose we wanted to find the slope of a line. The way we can do that is by using the slope command. So let's clear this window, and this time I'm going to go up and hit File, and I'm going to hit New. It asks whether I want to save that. I'm going to say no. And we're going to put a line out there. The way we do that is with the line tool. So I'm going to click on the line tool. I'm going to start with a point -20. Click there. And let's go up to the point 4, and click there. We'll lock that line in. Now I'm going to go back over to the pointing arrow, or the move arrow, And what I wanted to do was to find the slope of that line. So the way I can do that is I'll go over here to the commands. I'm going to hit the drop down arrow by the commands. I'm going to scroll all the way down to slope. Click on slope. And I want the slope of line A, so I'll put an A in there, small a. Hit enter. And you can see that the slope is 0.67. It's got a rise of 0.67, and a run of 1. You can also see the slope is over here in the algebra area with that little b beside it. So that's how we can find the slope of any given line. Now suppose we wanted to find where it intersected the x and y axis. Well, there's an intersect command. So we'll go over to our commands again. This time I think we'll just type it. We'll type INTER, and you can see we've got intersect. I want to get in between those square brackets. And I want to find the intersection of this line. And it's not going to let me do that, so I'm going to go up here and click on line A. Intersect A. And now I want to know where it intersects with the y-axis. So I'm going to put a comma in. And there's a keyword called y-axis that allows me to address the y-axis. And the way we do that is small y, no space, capital A, X, I, S. When I hit enter, you can see that this intersects the y-axis at this point C, and C is 0, 1.33. And if I wanted to see that display right on the drawing pad, I can do a right click on the point. I can click on point C to make sure it's on the right one. We're going to click on the show label. I'm going to go for name and value, and you can see that the label has C equals 0 and 0.133. Now if we wanted to find the x-intercept, we would do it exactly the same way. Let's create another line. I'll go up to the line tool and click on the line tool. I'm going to start it at the point 0, 4. I'm going to end it down at the point 4, 0. And now let's find the x-intercept. Well, we can do that by going down to our command box, go down for intercept. Let's see if I can find intersect, rather, right there. And we want to find the intersection of this line right here, which is called line C. And we want to find the intersection with the x-axis. And again, there's a keyword for this. It's small x, no space, capital A, X, I, S. We hit enter, and you can see that point E is the x-intercept. But here's the intersection point is also labeled point F. Let's get rid of that label for point E, and we're going to show label, turn it off, and you can see the F is right there. Alright, and then let's go up to F, and we'll go down to properties, and we're going to show name and value once again. So there's our intersection point, point F, which is 4, 0. And again, if we wanted to find the slope of that line, we could go down to our command box, scroll down to slope, and there it is. Click on it. The slope of line C, and you can see that the slope is -1, or it's got a fall of -1 and a run of 1. Okay, now let's look at parallel lines and perpendicular lines. We're going to start with another new window, so I'm going to go up here to File, New. I don't want to save this. And now suppose I was given a line and a point, and I want to find a line parallel to that line. Well, let's create a line, and I'm going to use my line tool again. I'm going to start with 0, 2. I'm going to end with 2, 0 right there. And I want a line parallel to that line, but I want it through the point 6, 6. Well, I'm going to click on my point tool and put the point 6, 6 out there. And now what I want to do is get a parallel line. Well, if I click on this little red icon here for the drop-down lines, you can see that we have perpendicular lines, parallel lines, and some angle bisectors that we're not going to use in this module. We're going to click on parallel line, and now what I want to do is hit the point C, and I'm going to hit the line AB, and there's our parallel line all the way up there. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little clearer. And if I wanted to, I could get the slope of that line by just going down to the input box. This time I'm going to type slope with a square bracket, and it's the slope of line B with a square bracket to close. Hit enter, and you can see our slope is again -1, just like the original line was. And that's a neat way of finding a parallel line. Let's get rid of that parallel line. I'm going to delete it. And suppose we wanted a perpendicular line through that point. Well, we can do that one of two ways. The first way is to go back up to our parallel line. In this case, we'll hit the drop-down arrow and we'll look for perpendicular line. And now I want a perpendicular line between C, and you see point C brightened up, and our line A, and it brightened up. And there's our perpendicular line. Let's find the slope of that perpendicular line. And again, we're going down here. I'm going to type SLOPE with a square bracket, and that line is B. Square bracket, hit enter, and you can see the slope of that line is 1. Where the slope of our original line, I'm going to go over here and do the slope command. Down here to our original line, slope of line A is -1. So there's a neat way of creating a perpendicular line. Now, another way of creating a perpendicular line is to use the perpendicular line command. So we'll get rid of that original perpendicular line. I'm just going to go down here and delete it. I'll leave our point there, but this time I'm going to go in and type perpendicular, P-E-R-P, and you can see that it completed the word for me. I'm going to go right in the middle of those square brackets. I'm going to perpendicular line between the point C, comma, and the line small a, hit enter, and there's our perpendicular line again. Now, the one thing we cannot do with commands is a parallel line. If I try to type P-A-R-A-L-L, you can see there's no parallel line that comes up. And if I look in the command window and I go down to the P's, you can see I go from oscillating to circle to parabola. There's no parallel in here. So I can do perpendicular using command, but I cannot use parallel. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps up what we're going to do in this module. Let's just do a quick review. We learned how to draw a line using the line icon. We learned also how to connect 2 points using the line icon. We learned how to connect 2 points using the line command. And we learned how to enter equations of a line using the input line. We inputted a general form, ax plus by equals c. We input one in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And we input one in function form, f of x equals mx plus b. We graphed both a horizontal and a vertical line. We found where 2 lines intersect using the intersect command. We used the slope command to find the slope of a line. We found the x and y intercepts using the intersect command and the keywords x-axis and y-axis. We found a line parallel to another line through a given point using the parallel line icon. And we found a line perpendicular to another line through a given point using both the perpendicular command and the perpendicular line icon. This finishes Module 4.